Hey Mark, this is your milking section.
So we're in the lead up. We've just the dairy and the goats are all good. We're going to bring the goats in.
Okay,
yes.
for milking.
Yeah, so milking here is a once a day activity at the moment. We can go twice a day, but I think it's better to run, a team of goats slightly off the top of their game, and that way their health is good. Yeah. Not that it's not good in a double milking system, but for us at this time it works well.
Off we go. So what do we do?
We do have a couple of wethers in the mob. They're good for eating, not so good for milking.
Okay. What are wethers?
They used to be boys.
Yeah.
They're males that are a bit older, that are new about the milk product. Same with meat. That these wethers eat very well. Okay. And particularly if if they're not reeking of the sort of goat hormones that people don't like to smell. Yeah. Then they're good eating as well.
So how does that compare to the boar ones, the boar goats?
Yeah. So the boar goats that you may have seen earlier today, the male goats in that system, they're going to be full on. They're going to be making those odours that they think make them attractive. Yeah. But for us, they're a little bit altering, a bit different.
Okay. And that's permeated into the meat.
Well, the older the billies get, the older the male goats get, particularly people that have been out in the rangelands country and the station country in West Australia. Yeah. You'll get a smell of a male goat, and that goes through his meat as well. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Now, particularly with the markets that we're looking to sell into here, we don't want an overpoweringly goaty flavour in our goat's cheese.
Great. Alrighty, so what's the next stage of bringing them in?
So if we stand on this side here, what I want them to do, so I'm going to send the dogs back. So the order here, the command that I'm going to give the dogs is go back. They'll go to the back of the mob. Go back. They are driven. These lupins, they're just one of the grains that we feed our does. A lactating doe, she needs 32 megajoules a day to give us 2 litres of milk. So these beautiful lupins, nutrient density of about 15 megajoules per kilo. So these goats have a very healthy gut flora. So what's happening with these lupins is the bugs are eating the lupins, and then the biomass created by the bugs actually is what the goat feeds on. So in the actual gut,
that's when they've consumed it.
It's amazing, yeah. So the goat's not actually running on lupin, she's running on the bacteria that feed on the lupin. Yeah. They're very, very safe. The secondary proteins are virtually idiot-proof, which has saved me many times.
And then basically these all just lock down as they've gotten out and they can't get their heads out and they just feed. How long will they be in here for while you milk them?
I will like to run at about 10 minutes per milking. Yeah. Okay. And that means I can go through a load of 250 odd goats in about 2.5 hours. And then we're not in here all day.
Well, let's go and check out the cheese making.
Sounds like a plan.
So what do we have here?
So this is what we market as Bookara Goat Dairy goat's curd. Okay, so the process is very, very simple. 10 yards out there is a goat dairy where the goats are milked. We bring the goat milk into this room. We heat it to 68 degrees for 4 minutes. Now, as a point of separation, a lot of milk that goes through an inline pasteuriser is heated to 73 degrees for 12 or 13 seconds. That process involves a lot of pumping and a lot of instant heat. The lower and slower that you can pasteurize, the less fatty acid profile disruption that you're going to get. Okay, so what we're aiming to do is generate flavours here that are really wholesome. We leave that brew in the vat here for 24 hours. We come back and then we'll hoop that. It's a real yogurty soft mix at that stage. Often our product has been compared to labneh. Yeah. A very similar making process. So we're actually pulling this very soft cultured cheese into these hoops, and we're letting it dry then. Again, it can be a matter of just a few hours, but generally it's a day or so in the cold room. This beautiful texture here that we see, that's now a couple of days old. Yeah, but if we go a little bit softer, then we're looking at all sorts of clever things.
Because if I'm looking at putting it into curries, Indian curries, salt content is probably a little bit too high.
Maybe a goat curry.
Well, that's kind of what I've been looking at. That's what we actually have a goat curry on already in Will Street, but I'd like to, now we've met a goat meat supplier that can do whole pieces of goat that doesn't have to be all chopped up and only one standard.
Yeah.
We can play a lot more with it, and so to be able to do goat curries or goat braises and then put this yogurt through it. And so can you make it more wet or not?
I can. Well, we just pack it earlier.
Pack it earlier, yeah.
You literally hoop it for an hour or two. Yeah. And that'll come down to a conversation too. Like, I really want to know what what you and your chefs
are doing
demand.
with it. Yeah.
And we can absolutely pack it a bit wetter.
Yeah. Well, listen, thank you very much. It's been inspirational, and I definitely will look forward to having this on the menu.
My pleasure. I'm looking forward to coming to Leadville.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Yeah, lovely, Matt. Cheers.